welcome to day 3 of the What Are You Really Hungry For free challenge. I hope already you are having some light bulb moments. You are starting to realize and understand why you might be really hungry, like what you're really hungry for, like what the things are you're really craving, and you're starting to really kind of grasp that concept that this is not about food. We think that we have a problem with food because that's the thing we just keep eating, but I really hope it's starting to make sense that this is actually about the reason why are you using food in that way? Why do you want to reach outside of yourself for a distraction, a coping mechanism, something to make you feel good? And I hope that, that is just starting to make sense, and you're already getting some pieces of the puzzle from the last 2 days. So today we are moving into category number 3, which is past conditioning. So your conditioning from childhood. So today is all about understanding how the patterns that you experience around food as a child are in some way still playing out today and are essentially a mirror of what was happening then. So the things we are taught around food directly and indirectly as a child can play a massive role in what we are still experiencing around food right now, and how we see food, how we feel about food, how we use food. So from the ages of 0 to 8, you are like a sponge. You are just soaking up all this information, the things that you were told directly and the things you see around you and the experiences you have, and they start to form your view of the world. And between that age, you're actually forming 85% of your beliefs and how you see the world. So whatever you essentially experience at that age and what you see to be true is what you carry forward. It's essentially how you are still seeing the world. So this is not about blaming anybody from the past. This is not about thinking, God, I wish mum hadn't done that, or dad didn't do that, or my carer or guardian didn't act like that with food. This is not about blaming. This is about understanding where the patterns come from, so you can be conscious and you can make a change if that's what you want to do. And it's remembering that anyone in your past, the majority of the time, would have had good intentions with food. A lot of people show love through food, and there's a good intention, but the result of it is that we grow up and still want to get that love from food. But it's just remembering that the intention behind it would have probably been good. So for example, what are the kind of things that could be happening? Let's say as a child you had a bad day at school and you're upset, and then you were given a muffin, and that was given to you to help you feel better. Then it is very easy to make the connection of food makes me feel better. So then when you get older and you're working and you have a hard day at work and you just want to get home and you just want to eat something, because it's running the same pattern, right? Food makes me feel better. Food is a reward. The same, if you're good, we'll go to McDonald's. If you're good, we'll get some sweets. So it's like, if you do well, if you behave, then you will have food as a treat. And it's the same pattern can play out. You do something really well, you think, I'm going to celebrate with food. I'm going to buy myself something to eat at home in the evening because that feels good. So it's just remembering that these patterns can come from childhood. It's the same if you grew up in a household with a lot of brothers and sisters and maybe there was competition for food. This can have an impact in how you view food now. Maybe you still eat quite quick, or maybe you feel like you need to rush or hide food, or you feel like you're going to miss out if you don't get in quick. Like, we can be running so many patterns that we might not even be conscious of that were developed when we were younger. Another example, if food was restricted, if you weren't allowed sugary food, junk food, sodas, if there were certain things that you were told, no, you cannot have them, or maybe you were just limited with like, no, you can only have this amount. That can lead to when you suddenly develop your own freedom and maybe you move out and you start earning your own money and you can buy your own food, it can result in wanting to buy a lot and eat a lot because it was restricted. The same if you were told you have to finish everything on your plate, otherwise you won't have dessert, or you just have to finish it as you can't get down from the table. Again, all these things could be happening. Maybe you're someone that just can't leave food on their plate. Even if you're full, you have to finish it. So the reason it is so important to get clear with this is because there will be a lot of things that as I said, you will be conscious of and unconscious of that you are still running from childhood. And the thing is, a lot of these things are probably not your way. They're not what you want to think, they're not what you want to believe. It's just what you experience and what you saw to be true. And so you carried it forward. Another example, and this is my own one. I grew up seeing my mum do diets and follow diet books and do workout DVDs and always talk about the fact that she didn't really like her legs and she felt her legs were big. And then other people made the comment that I had the same body shape as my mum, so I started to think my legs were big. And when I got to the point that I felt like I needed to change my body, which is actually after I was cheated on in a relationship, and prior to that I never had an issue with food, I never had an issue with my body or weight, I used to eat whatever I wanted, but suddenly that experience happened and it planted this seed in my mind that I'm not good enough, and I felt like I had to change. Instead of it being that's on them and what they did, but I made it about me, and I made it I'm not good enough, I'm not attractive enough, and I need to lose weight for some reason. And so I'd obviously grown up, and without realizing I had seen my mum doing diets and doing the workouts and things, so that's what I did. And I went on my first diet and I did it for 8 weeks, and I was so miserable, I was so hungry, I barely lost any weight because I had none to lose. But what it did was teach me terrible things around food and condition me to think food is good and bad. And the level of restriction I felt, I then just wanted to binge once I stopped the diet. And that is where a lot of my emotional eating, binge eating, and my terrible relationship with food came from, the first diet I went on. Anyway, little side note, coming back. I grew up seeing my mum do them things. She never ever once said to me, Leanne, you need to go on a diet, ever. But she taught me indirectly from what I saw her doing, and I modelled that. So again, that's not her fault, there's nothing she did wrong, but it's just important to recognise where some of the things we're running around food in our body come from. Maybe there was comments said about your body, oh, she's the chubby one, or you eat so much, or she's always eating that one, she's the big eater, all these little comments get planted in here, like we talked about yesterday. They become part of the story of who we think we are. And when we're running this, we believe it, and that becomes who we are. But we can change that. So understanding where a lot of the childhood things come from will give you a lot of perspective and awareness, and allow you to start taking back the control and rewrite some of this programming that's happening. Fully understanding all the different pieces that have been in your past conditioning is very important. Obviously today, this is just to kind of open your mind to this concept and start you thinking, like, let's start being aware of what you are running and what is there and where it's come from. And today I've given you a little journaling task to help you uncover some of this. Now, journaling is really powerful, guys. Like, it's so powerful to put pen to paper and actually just sit with yourself and be with yourself and take some time to reflect on your habits and your way of thinking. So use the exercise, sit, be quiet, be still, and really think about these things. And you might find over the next week or two, you have more things coming to mind. Like, I remember that thing, so-and-so in my family said, or I remember when mum mentioned that, and that's where that comes from. I can see that now, and it just gives you a little bit of clarity and understanding of why am I doing this? And it starts to make a bit more sense. So do the journaling exercise, and then you're actually going to come up with a new thing that you want to believe instead. What is one of these kind of past programs that is running that we could rewrite? So there's a little exercise to help you do that. So enjoy today's content, ladies. If you have any questions, please let me know. Let me know below this video if this resonates, what your takeaways are. Share with us, let me know. I want to know that it's resonating and making sense, and I will see you tomorrow for day 4.